Hi everyone, thanks for listening to my Module 4 presentation. For the book, I chose The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skaloot. Just an overview, Henrietta Lacks was an African American woman in the 1950s who developed cervical cancer, and there was a lot of racism, and she was mistreated in a lot of ways, and so was her family. Because of the racism, she was only allowed to visit certain hospitals. So John Hopkins was where she was treated for her cancer, and she was mistreated by doctors such as Dr. Guy, who took cells without her consent to discover a new cell line called HeLa. And so Rebecca Skaloot really dives into Henrietta's life and her children's life to find out more about the mother's legacy in the story. So I won't ruin the end of the book, but it was really good. I recommend it. So why I'm recommending it is just I think it's important to research and read about the history of science, and especially people of color were so mistreated and stripped of basic rights, especially in this case, just to improve science. So I think it's important that as teachers, we encourage our students to explore the STEM world, but also value human life first. Cultivate STEM identity, promote change for students of color and diverse background. It's important for me to educate all students and give them the same opportunities to succeed in the STEM world, and just to be enthusiastic learners of all races. So for the movie, I watched Spare Parts. I really enjoyed this movie. It had a main character, Dr. Cameron, who started out with little to no teaching experience, but he meets a student, Oscar, who is very motivated for his age and wants, he kind of comes from nothing and wants to start his science and engineering career. So they start this underwater robotics club, and all the kids in the club again have very little money and resources, and so they need to be creative with the materials they use. They face hardships, but they stick together as a team, and during the competition you can see a lot of problem solving and critical thinking skills become of this, which was very STEM influenced. So I won't ruin how the competition ends, but I'm recommending it because it was very inspirational, because it promoted that no matter where you come from, you can be successful in the STEM world, and it's motivating to see these students, work hard and critically think and work together as a team in order to be successful. And to cultivate my own STEM identity and help me see the importance of believing in my students, especially the ones that come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, and to give all students the same opportunities. For the podcast, I looked at Science Friday, specifically a bio robots podcast. So it was just talking about technology that they're designing, and it's called a Xenobot, and it is made up of frog heart cells and skin. And these Xenobots are designed by computers and technology to function in multiple ways. And one of the ways that they mentioned was that they could detect plastics in the ocean, and then we would be able to find that and scoop them out with boats. So just really how technology is driving the science and math engineering process. Why I'm recommending is just it's a true example of how STEM is impacting our world. The real world application is really important here, and for most students, they love technology. So this is a prime example of how they can use that to better the world. And how to cultivate it. It just helps me convey the optimism towards STEM. And it made me critically think what purposes these bots could have in the future and really promote that growth mindset to my class. And finally, the place that I virtually visited, the Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University, the Science Museum in Philadelphia, offers ways for families to stay home and connected, hands-on experiments that they can do with their kids, recent academic science stories, academic blogs. They have really engaging exhibits like the T-Rex exhibit. Students could talk with scientists and watch fossils being prepared. Why I'm recommending, it's just a fun way. I think it would be a great field trip, and there's a lot of hands-on learning STEM activities, like making binoculars, dancing tissue experiment, that I think kids would really benefit from. And to cultivate my own STEM learning, explore something that I used to walk past every day in Philadelphia, and to give the students the same experiences, and to also get parents involved. Thanks so much.